can't wait.
I'm here to have real conversations, to hear from the people on the front lines of the social justice movement. The time to talk about it is now. It can't wait. Welcome to It Can't Wait. On this episode, we're going to learn all about the AllStars Project, a national nonprofit that works to transform the lives of young people in communities in need. I'll be having a conversation with the CEO of the AllStars Project, along with two people whose involvement in the AllStars Project changed their lives. But first, let's find out more about this great organization that the Jets have partnered up with in their fight against social injustice.
My name is Chris Street. I'm the president of the AllStars Project.
My name is Shade McDaniel. I'm the vice president and city leader of the AllStars Project of New Jersey.
My name is Antoine Joyce. I'm the vice president and city leader of the AllStars Project of Dallas.
The AllStars Project was founded because millions of young people in our country were not able to realize their potential.
I first met the AllStars Project in 1991. I was a young person looking for opportunity.
I first got involved as a volunteer back in 1992.
We provide free, high-quality after-school development programs that have impacted thousands of young people from poor communities.
In the AllStars Project, we use performance as a development tool to transform the lives of youth in poor communities.
Young people are encouraged to act and step outside of their comfort zones, like in our programs like Development School for Youth or Operation Conversation Cops and Kids.
The AllStars Project has a 40-year history of grassroots organizing and community building in poor neighborhoods across the country.
From the first moment that the AllStars Project set foot on the streets of Newark, back in '99, we've been working to bridge a long-standing and often tense urban-suburban divide.
One of our unique contributions, particularly to social justice, is that we've added development. And development is a critical component of addressing poverty and moving our country forward.
The Jets players and management are all in when it comes to social justice.
When your home team is a historic organization like the New York Jets, and they step forward to partner with the poor community, I mean, that's pretty meaningful. You know, young people and families in the inner cities where we work will know and see that the Jets care and they care about these real issues. And that's some powerful stuff.
The Jets and the AllStars Project know that winning the game depends on performance. Whether you're a linebacker or an inner city youth, your ability to perform at the highest level requires teamwork, the ability to learn new performances and game plans. So we'll use this shared perspective to tackle racism and poverty throughout 2021.
So I guess a smooth transition is, to really talk to you guys about why you got involved in the All-Star Project and why is it so important.
I first met the All-Stars when I was 19 years old. I was a young actor. I had moved to New York City from a small town. And the All-Stars at the time was an all grassroots, all volunteer effort. And, I was really a change the world person. And when I met the All-Stars, it was just the perfect fit for me. I first became employee number one and then have built it for 3 decades as its founding CEO.
So I started as a receptionist. So I would open the door, I would answer the phones. And while I was there, I would hear about these amazing programs. And everyone I met, even the young people, would say, "You're in the age range. You should join the program." And kind of as a way to get everybody off my back, I said, fine. I'll join the program. And I did. And in those moments, I learned that, this program, one, it's for me, but it's also a great opportunity to get some skills that we don't get in our communities. We don't get these skills in school. So I had this tremendous sense of responsibility to share this with everybody I could, every young person, every adult. So now my role as the Associate Director of Youth and Community Development is to continue finding ways to invite young people and adults to participate in our after-school programs.
Bible, why don't you tell us about your role and the impact of the All-Star Project and how it has helped and changed and motivated you?
I was in the library one day and I heard one of these girls talking about having to dress professionally every day after school for the All-Stars Project. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, dang, professional chic is kind of my aesthetic. How about I listening a little. And she mentioned the AllStars Project, and I turned and I looked at her and I was asked, "What's that?" And she started explaining it to me, and I was like, "Okay, cool." I went home that day, looked into it, and I was like, "Okay, great. I get to dress professionally, talk to new people. Let me apply." I applied. I got into the development school for youth, and I thought it was going to be a breeze. I'm already outgoing, already like dressing professionally, and I got there and I was shocked. I had to learn how to talk to a whole bunch of different people. But the AllStars Project allowed me to open up and share my experiences with other people who wouldn't have known me otherwise. And it also showed me that people in the professional world are not cold and they're not distant. They actually want to help me get to where they're at. And it was a great experience learning that other people are willing to help me get to that professional state.
And you hit on something, because I tell people all the time, it's not about your net worth, it's about your network. And to be able to do that, you have to come out of your shell and understand that sometimes people are just as intimidated to talk to you than you are to talk to them. So guys, tell me about Operation Conversation with Cops and what that means and entails, and how did it get started?
Well, Bart, Operation Conversation Cops and Kids got started in 2006, and it really came from an "it can't wait" moment. And that moment was the fatal shooting of Sean Bell in Queens, New York. He was a young black man coming out of his bachelor party and was shot by undercover police officers in a case of mistaken identity. There were massive protests. New York was really a tinderbox, and there was a huge outcry against police abuse and for racial justice. And the AllStars Project participated in the marches for justice. And we also felt we had to go beyond that and really address the root cause of the problem. And so Operation Conversation Cops and Kids was designed to really challenge the culture of mistrust between young people of color and police officers. And so far, we've had over 5,000 inner city young people and police officers involved in New York City and in Newark, New Jersey.
Dwayne, as an African-American male, sometimes considered the suspect, how important is this to you that, we have the ability to bring some of the cops that, cop the communities and be able to have these conversations about the protocol, their procedure? You hear their perspective, they hear your perspective. How important is this? And, have you seen a difference?
I had the opportunity to participate in a few Operation Conversation Cops and Kids workshops as a young man in the program myself. And this program actually became therapeutic for me to hear and be able to interact with police officers who are not much older than me. And a lot of it sounded like talking to an older sibling or an aunt or an uncle. And there was a particular moment where a white police officer looked at me and she said, "I'm sorry for the experiences that you've had." And I'd never met her before. She had nothing to do with it going on in my life. But to hear that from a police officer saying that she became a cop because she wanted to help people. So hearing some of the struggles of Black men knowing what communities they can't go into, what spaces they shouldn't be in, things they can't say, and not feeling safe. She apologized to me, and it gave me this sense of relief that I never knew I needed.
Revival on us. Tell me a little bit about the development school for the youth and some of the things that take part in there.
The workshops kind of were tailored towards the young people. We were listening to all these young professionals stand up, talk about how they got to where they got. And oftentimes it felt like they were directing their conversation towards us. This one time we were listening to a presentation and our presenter was telling us how he grew up poor, and him growing up poor motivated him to work in all these different odd jobs that eventually got him through college. And he even made us all put down our emails and said he was going to send us books that would put us on that, on that path that he took. And he actually sent us the books. Like, once I got my book in the mail, it started to feel like these people actually wanted me to succeed.
The greatest thing we can do is invest in the future, and the youth are the future. How important is it that the Jets committed to being able to be part of programs and not put money, there per se, but also to put resources and people that can come out and be able to reach and touch, the people and the kids in the program?
I mean, Bart, it's just huge. I mean, that involvement, I think, is just huge. What we're talking about here, I think, with Operation Conversation Cops and Kids, with the DSY and building those new trust relationships, we're talking about culture change. We're talking about changing hearts and minds. And that's what we have to do. And so when the Jets say, hey, we're going to be involved we're going to come and we're going to host a DSY workshop, Development School for Youth workshop at MetLife Stadium. The Jets are going to be part of our development coaching program, so they're going to be coaches. So that involvement, I think it's both very special and it's really needed. It's the kind of, hard work we're all going to have to do if we want to really make a change.
It was great to talk to Gabrielle, Dwayne, Revival, to hear more about their organization and which they're so passionate about. In the next episode of It Can't Wait, we're going to be talking to the Innocence Project, an organization that helps to free people who are wrongfully convicted of crimes. Tune in next time to It Can't Wait.